Okay, look, last year we talked about the 4 pillars of affordability. Profitability. Thank you. And I thought we did a fantastic job.
Bro, I thought we nailed it.
I thought we killed. Apparently, we didn't do such a good job because last year we had 35 minutes, and this year they only gave us 15 minutes. And look, I was very confused. Shut up, Danny. I was very confused at the beginning, but then it started to make sense because now we have better here, and we want to put the best faces out there. And how bad can we embarrass the company in 15 minutes?
We're gonna find out,
right? And look, it makes sense again because this is the face of Neo, right? What is that you guys say here? They're all tall, white, and handsome.
It's not exactly that, but look, to your point, I can't hold a candle to these guys. I got nothing. Maybe you do.
Nobody has ever called me white or tall. But then we started reflecting on what we were doing. And we started reflecting that, look, while this is the face of Neo, this is also the face of Neo.
So you're saying there's a chance?
There's a chance for sure. Look, in this family, there's a home for everybody. And just like in America, everybody needs a little bit of Florida. And look, in Florida, we started to gain a reputation of having difficult loans, difficult clients, and even more difficult loan officers, which that hurt me. That started by you, Darcy. Yes.
By the way, thankfully we had good margins at least.
Yes, at least we have good margins. But look, in all seriousness, this started as a joke, but I mean, it was quickly brought to our attention that this is really how the whole ops team felt. And that hurt us, because we understand that you guys make the magic happen. You guys save us all the time. And we don't want you guys to feel like, you don't want to work with us. So we knew that something needed to change and something needed to change fast.
Now the good news is this. There was a trip planned. Danny and Chris were coming down. And I'm like, you know what? These are two of the people that I love the most in the industry. I respect the most. And we decided we're just going to get super vulnerable. Because the truth is, we didn't know how to fix the problem. And we knew that these two gentlemen, once we did that, were going to bring us incredible insight.
Yes, pay attention to this.
Yeah,
please
everybody,
write this down.
This is gold. Everybody write this down. They told us 2 things. Number 1, I have no freaking idea.
This is literally what they told us.
And number 2, ask Jeanette and Katie. Which, by the way, we're saying it as a joke, but the reality is, it was actually incredible insight.
So we asked Jeanette and Katie. And Jeanette and Katie gave us credible insight. And the credible insight that they gave us was basically, guys, you guys just suck. You're just terrible. You're terrible at hiring, you're terrible at training, you're terrible at ops.
Everything but sales, basically.
Yeah. Basically, everything but sales. We're just bad at. And look, this was very scary for me because this guy has been doing loans for like 75 years. And if after 75 years he didn't figure this out, what was I gonna do?
And look, here's the reality. I have been doing this 75 years. And this problem has plagued me my entire career. This problem has held me back my entire career. And it was heavy, that conversation with Katie and Jeanette. And I appreciate to this day how honest they were with us and supportive, but I felt like I was standing at the base of a tall, steep mountain, and I had to figure out a way to climb it after not knowing how to do it for so many years. And I don't know about you guys, but when I find myself in a situation like that, I try to go back to another time in my life, another time where I had a tall, steep mountain that I did climb. I'm going to share something with you guys that I've never shared in a public forum before, because frankly, it's embarrassing. In the first 6 months of 2000, my mother, my father, my grandmother, and my grandfather all died separately. I was a kid. To say it was a dark moment, shit, that's not even close. And what resulted in me from that was a very serious 5-year drug addiction. And I've shared this story with a few people over the years, and people always ask me, Scott, how did you kick the habit? And the crazy, truthful answer is a dream. I had a dream one night that I was hurting my family and I lost them. And whatever that dream did to me that night is what I needed, because I woke up the next morning, I grabbed my stash, I flushed it down the toilet, and I never touched that shit again. Thank you. And I share this with you because I find myself in a similar situation now in that I'm hurting my work family. And I would be fucking devastated if I ever lost my Neo family. And here's what I knew. I knew that if I was able to climb that mountain by myself in May of 2005, that there was no friggin' chance that him and I together wasn't gonna climb this one.
Problem is, that was hard to duplicate because I couldn't just sit down and wait until he has another dream and figures out how to do all these things. So this started a whole process that, to put it in words that he can understand, we now call business rehab. But this is the abridged version because instead of 12 steps, we don't have time for that. We're only gonna give you 5 steps.
Because we only have 15 minutes.
So, step number 1, trust and understanding. We love you, Jeanette. Look, Neo is so freaking transparent that it's weird. I'm used to a company just lying to us, telling us everything is good, we're perfect, but then like the house is freaking burning in the back. Neo, on the other hand, has Danny and Jeanette going like, we're building the plane while it's flying. This is where we are right now, but this is where we want to be. But they treat us like partners. Like we are in this together. They really do. They're telling us the truth, which again, it's weird, but they're telling us the truth. And they treat us like partners. They really want us to succeed because if we succeed, they succeed, especially with us. And I understood that I wasn't treating them like a partnership. I was expecting perfection from them, which is crazy because I know that they weren't expecting perfection from me.
They would be sorely disappointed, my friend.
They're still disappointed. So I needed to be a better partner by having trust and understanding. The second step is having uncomfortable conversations. Having uncomfortable conversations, with the team, right? Like we, out of a sudden, are coming back from this realization that apparently we're assholes and we need to change. So, Natalie, you can't laugh that hard about it. And we need to change. So we needed to meet with the team and we had to say like, hey guys, like these are where the standards are gonna be now for us too. And if you don't follow these standards, there's just not gonna be a place for you in the team anymore.
Bro, we parted ways with 8 different people. One of them was your freaking relative.
Which is weird because they tell you that, you know, if you read business books, it's like hire family because what could go wrong?
It's a foolproof plan, everybody.
Yeah. But with the team. The other thing is difficult conversations or uncomfortable conversations with leadership. And I'm going to let you talk about this because you made it your sport the last 12 months to yell at everybody in leadership.
Look, there's a lot of talk about amongst Neo of staying above the line, of getting curious, not furious. And I do not historically do that. I remember having a conversation with Katie not all that long ago, and I walked away from the conversation with the understanding that there was going to be an LS assigned to the branch exclusively to help us with our ops. And within about 2 weeks, this person had so many loans from so many other branches, she couldn't take our files. And I went on a rampage. There are several people in this room that I called up and screamed at, but it culminated with Chris Ledley. I gave Leds a call, he answers the phone, and I am not exaggerating, I laid into him for probably 4 straight minutes. And Chris, I love you on, I don't know where you are, but I love you on so many fronts, Chris, but I've actually never shared this with you. I love you so much more because this conversation was transformational for me, bro. Because when I was done screaming at him like a child, he paused for a second and he said, hey bro, you feel better?
He sounds like a dick.
He said, because when I get a whole bunch of stuff off my chest, I know I feel better, and I care about you, and I hope you feel better. Man, I didn't think I could ever feel that small. It disarmed me, made me feel stupid. And he said, Scott, let me ask you a question. Is it possible that you and Katie walked away from that conversation with a different understanding? Obviously, the answer is yes. He said, let me ask you another question, Scott. Did you do this or this or this or this or this to ensure that you two are on the same page? And I was like, no, Chris. He's like, look, Scott, I know you're a tactical guy. So my last question for you is tactically, do you think going at Katie the way you just went at me is going to yield the best results versus calling her up and asking what happened? And I'm so thankful that I had the humility to just blindly listen to him. Because I gave Katie a call. My respect level for her in this call went up about 10 million %. Because she explained to me that a whole string of circumstances happened that she couldn't have possibly foreseen. And what I saw on my screen was a woman almost in tears because I don't know if everybody realizes how freaking hard she fights.
Give it up for Katie.
For everybody. She fights for all of us like I've never seen before. But we weren't done having tough conversations, bro.
No, because we also have to have tough conversations with each other. And this one is, I'm going to be a little vulnerable here. I had to sit him down before we got on the plane. I had to tell him to please not embarrass me this year. Like he did last year. No punching anything this year.
Technically, I didn't punch anything last year either.
Look, he used to have his own separate branch. Not very successful, but his own separate branch. I used to have my own separate branch. So we didn't have to answer to anybody. And now every decision we make, we need to have each other's buy-in. And the truth is, even though this is not a sexy thing to say, the uncomfortable conversations that we have with each other, they aren't difficult.
They're easy.
They really aren't. Because we apply step number 1, which is trust and understanding. It's a real partnership. And we also apply extreme ownership, right? Like I take what I can control and he takes what he can control. And when I looked at things, I wasn't applying, forget extreme ownership, I wasn't applying any ownership when it came to things that had to do with ops. There was a time where I truly believed this, and this was my reality in my head, that just Neil, overall, just couldn't figure out how to close a broker loan, how to close a loan when somebody didn't have a 700 credit score, and how to understand the floor of the market. But the only common denominator there was me. And if I applied extreme ownership and I started thinking, what am I doing to set them up for success? It was nothing. And when we start looking at things with that lens, everything changes. On a separate note, I take extreme ownership on how well Tori did today in his panel. I taught him everything he knows.
Look, we needed to make a change. We needed to make a change quickly because although we're joking and stuff on stage, the truth is we were really upset with ourselves. We really wanted to do better. So in keeping with our brand and many other people in the room, we turned to AI.
Well, Vashal also threatened to fire everybody who doesn't use AI.
This is true. This is true, and I love my job. Look, we built 3 quick GPTs. The Broker Matchmaker GPT by Tori, you guys have heard about it. It's amazing. Client Notes GPT spits out transcripts in a format that our ops team asked us to provide to them. Pipeline Meeting GPT, and again, these are all available as well on Enterprise. The Pipeline Meeting GPT ensures that there is extreme clarity in who has to do what after every pipeline meeting. But we weren't done yet. We weren't done fixing things because, bro, we still needed to fix you.
Give me that. Look, talk about having difficult conversations and, taking ownership and whatnot. Scott came to me one day and he's like, dude, when you talk to the team and when you talk to ops, you're condescending and rude. You sound like a dick. You're not saying, you're not raising your voice, you're not using bad words, but you come across like a dick. I didn't like that. That hurt me because, man, I really like these people. I respect them, I like them, they save my butt all the time, I want them to want to work with me, and I'm just not coming across the way that I wanted to come across, and it was for me to fix. And there's some people here in our L360 group. I talked a lot about that. I started to try to look within and communicate in different ways and all these things, which is it's a lot of work. But to accelerate this process, we also turned to AI. And I created my personal communication chief GPT. This one is not public. And this is basically optimized to apply the platinum rule. Because, the golden rule is treat others the way that you like to be treated. Apparently, I like to be treated like an asshole. So I need to treat others the way that they like to be treated. And this is what this does. And this is an example. Let's say that it's Sunday afternoon and I want the team to be there early Monday morning because there's a meeting. I can go to that GPT, it filters me, and say, hey, I want to write a message to Scott and Heather and the team to be there early tomorrow. And this GPT takes that, and it knows Scott. It knows that he likes, when I treat him a little rough. So it takes that same message, and it goes, hey, bro, be there early tomorrow, ... don't be a bitch. Literally says that.
I have the text.
Obviously, that's not what it tells Heather. With Heather, it's like, hey, Heather, I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. Look, there's a lot of important things that we need to go over tomorrow, so can you please be there early? I would hate for you to miss this. It's changed the communication with the team and the impact that every message I make, it's received. Heather even told him, like, oh my God, I love the messages that Ed sends me. And he was laughing because I haven't written a message in like 6 months.
Now look, the reality is this. Although we've used AI to fix most of Ed's problems, we have not been able to solve the final problem with AI. Maybe the engineers could get in on this, and this has to do with the way he dresses when he comes over to my house for Christmas every year.
He seems to like it.
But in all seriousness, there was an immediate result of this, a better team experience. There was less stress amongst the team. Everybody got along better. Everybody communicated better. Everything ran smoother. And not surprisingly, a better team experience led to a better client experience. The handoffs were seamless. The client felt connected throughout the whole process. And not surprisingly, better client experience led to better production numbers. Because we started this in May, and come July, we doubled our production. Natalie, raise your hand. Okay. If I could brag on Natalie for a second, her first month at Neo, her first month with Tin Man, she closed 18 units for $9.2 million, and I believe 15 of them closed early.
18 of our units.
Yeah, 18
of
Florida
our
units.
units.
18 Florida units, like 48 other units. Yeah. But that's not what was important. What was important is that those two things, those three things, led to a better life experience.
Look, Darren said it beautifully today. There's a lot of talk about AI, removing the human element, but that doesn't have to be the case. Because if we use AI, because of AI, we've been able to deepen connection. Because when I'm not walking around with all the stress that I was walking around and feeling like, people don't want to work with me and I'm being a dick and all these different things, man, I'm not stressed. I can be more present. When I'm at home, my connection is better with my kids, with my wife. I'm a better husband. I'm a better father because I'm there. I'm better with my real family. I'm better with my work family. And it also puts things in perspective. This is a tough market, right? And even in a tough market, I can look up and realize that, man, we're lucky. We're lucky because we have an amazing work family here. I love this company. I'm lucky that I get to work here. And I'm lucky that I get to go to work every single day with my best friend.
I love you, bro.
Yeah. Ryan, sorry that we went over 3 minutes.
Bye, everybody.